Welcome to Learning Photography with Duck. Here's your host, Duck.
Alrighty, I think I'm all set. Welcome everybody to another edition of Learn Photography with Duck. As always, I am your host, Duck, and today is Lightroom. And as I mentioned before I started the recording, I am completely unprepared today. And I have no excuse. I don't.
We're all like, hey, Doug.
Yeah.
We're all basically in. I've been like this today. We're all in
Holiday mode.
We're with the holiday on a Tuesday, and
Yeah.
it's so long. I'm not going to say the guy's name. Let's say John Smith for the sake, because this is being recorded. We have this guy at work who would never make a change to a program before he went on vacation, which was really a good idea because you don't want something on the mainframe breaking while the guy's on vacation.
Right.
So I'm using the fake name John Smith. So we came up with the name John Smith Mode. And anytime we mention this to people, it's like, yeah, we get in this mode where it's like you just don't want to do anything, and we called it John Smith Mode.
That makes sense. I have no excuse other than, I guess the only excuse I have is that I've shut down. I personally shut down because last month was rather hectic, preparing for a few things, and it just kind of caught up to me. And the past couple of days, I just haven't been in a mood to do anything. Picked up a new client, so that put the first shoot kind of put a load on me. I had the presentation for the CTPPA that I had to prepare with two other people. That went over fantastic. I had a really great time at the convention, so that's now behind me. So all these big things that happened last month, they're now behind me, and it's like time for a couple of big things coming up this month. So it's like, let me just take a quick break. And you know what happens when you go and relax for a few. I'm just going to take a 5-minute nap. That's all I need is a 5-minute nap. 2 hours later, it's like, what happened? And that's kind of how I feel. I got into that 5-minute nap that just overextended, and now I got to get back into the swing of things. So during that 5-minute nap, I did absolutely nothing. So I have nothing really prepared, unfortunately. I have been preparing, as you guys know. Did I put it up here? Oh no, see, I haven't even gotten to this. That CTPPA conference is done, but coming up on the 15th, I have the multiplicity photo shoot that we're going to be doing at Hubbard Park in Meriden. Gorgeous place. So if you want a fun event, shooting event, join us on the 15th. It's going to be towards the later part of the day, so hopefully things will start cooling off. It won't be too hot, and I'm hoping that by then the sun has started to come down a little bit, so we're not photographing in bright midday sun. I try to keep it either early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, or towards the later part of the day. And I figure later part of the day will be kind of nice. And of course, I've definitely been preparing for the Flash Fundamentals workshop that's going to be held in conjunction with Milford Photo. We have limited seats, and we've already filled up half the venue. And a couple, I think I saw Bill, I saw your name pop up, and Alan, I saw your name pop up. who else did I haven't looked at it lately, but I know I got some 5 people.
I'm looking forward to it because and I was going to wait. I'm going to wait anyways until the third week of the month when we do Q&A. I'm going to show you a picture of how I've set up downstairs in the dining room area for DIY.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking pictures of still life or taking pictures of people. Remember the tripod I bought for 19, the combination tripod and an industrial light that I bought for
Oh,
19 clips that I showed you.
Yeah.
I also bought a clip, and so I can attach either a reflector to it and I just ordered a $40 backdrop that should be here on Wednesday.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
I have 2 sets of lights here that are consumer lights, and I could put daylight bulbs in them.
Mm-hmm.
You have a reading lamp and a top lamp, and the top lamp, of course, bangs up onto the ceiling to give me more light, and then I can use the reading lights to give me light, and we discussed this last year when the lighting wasn't good enough. So of course I will be using the flash on my camera, what do you call it? The speed light,
Okay.
and so I'm trying to set things up so I could, instead of going out, I have trouble taking pictures of flowers in places. And it's really, it bothers me because I live in driving distance to a place like that place in West Hartford and Hartford, Elizabeth Garden.
Right.
And the thing is, I can never do it right. And I figure if I could buy something and put and have control at home, I feel that might be better for taking pictures of flowers instead of trying to take pictures when they're outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of DIY lights, at the convention, I have the honor and privilege of knowing this really, I mean, phenomenal photographer by the name of Jack Holowitz. This guy, he photographs with the large format cameras, and his imagery, the detail that he can pull is just amazing. Anyway, he demonstrated this little DIY light that he made with large LEDs. All right, actually, hold on one second. Let me pull something real quick. If I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. So he has this huge, this thing must have weighed like 8 pounds. It was LED, it was the regular Edison socket, and it had, it was 8-sided, and it had LEDs on all 8 sides. And this thing kicked out some serious light. It's like 1100 lumens or something like that. But because it's LED, it's really not a heavy power consumption fixture. The only problem was, because it was so very heavy, in order to be able to put it on a light stand, you normally have to get, let me see if I can show it. You normally have to get something like this. This is just a regular Edison light socket. It's got the on-off switch, and of course you can plug it in, and it's got where you can attach it to the top of a light stand, and you twist it and you hold it, and then you have your light like this, right? The problem with that is that this thing is, oh, and it's got a little umbrella holder too, just so you know. The problem with this, it's $9 to buy on eBay or Amazon. And the reason it's $9 is because it's cheap. It's made out of plastic. You know, it's got a little articulating thing here. And what he found was that when he put it on the on his light stand, between the weight of this huge bulb and the weight of the umbrella, this thing kept kind of like creeping down on him. All right, it wouldn't stay. It kept creeping down. And over time, the teeth kind of get all worn out and just it flops even easier. So he says, I need to find a solution. So he went digging through his junk pile of old equipment. He had a couple of old flash units that were no longer usable. They broken long ago. And they had a small square housing. So what he did is he says, oh, well, the housing with the pivot point and the umbrella holder is a lot sturdier on the old broken light than these things. So he said, well, how can I jury rig this together? So he gutted the light in order to keep the housing with the mount. And he literally stuck this inside through the opening in the front. All right. And now he had a light unit that was very, very sturdy. It held the light bulb, the LED light bulb that weighed like 8 pounds, maintained the umbrella holder, and on top of that, because he recycled a light fixture, it had the mount for soft boxes and beauty dishes and all that other stuff. You couldn't fit a beauty dish in that thing, but you know, so it was pretty clever design. And you know, it just goes to show a little ingenuity. But the thing to this is he actually plugged it in and we tried it out. You know, he had a light stand with this jury rigged light, and I wish I could find the bulb that it was, because it was, when I tell you it was massive, it was massive. It was like a loaf of bread. And he threw it into a reflective umbrella, so it was bounce, okay, not shoot through umbrella, a bounce umbrella. And the quality of the light that this thing generated was phenomenal. Everybody's looking at it, you know, this kind of like jury rig contraption, like, you know. But when he turned it on and people actually saw the kind of light that this thing was getting with a simple umbrella modifier, it blew people away, you know. So it goes to show. Then, on top of all things, he pulls out another one, another light bulb. And I don't have quite the same type of light bulb here. I'll show you in a second. But it was something. Where is it? Now that I need it, I can't find it.
So Duck, with his, because that was LED, could he control temperature and colors and things like that?
Well, this one was white balanced. The other one that he pulled out was able to, it was bicolor, meaning that it was white balanced, but you can go towards the yellow side, you know, and warm it up if you need to. But the other one he found, let me switch over and share my screen, was something similar to this, where it's just the Edison base. All right, it's screwed in, and it had it was like, it looked like a fan, and the side things were able to angle, and that's where all the LEDs were on. And you just screw it into the light socket, and you can adjust the angle of these things so you can actually aim more towards the side of the umbrella if you wanted to, or more towards the back of the umbrella, you know. And it was unbelievable that just that little bit of control of the whatchamacallit, of these side pieces, the wings, you could alter the focus of that light. It was unbelievable. And it was all DIY. And it was all hardware found equipment, literally. So I was pretty amazed. It wasn't this exact light. It only had 3. He got it. He said he got it at Home Depot.
I saw something at Home Depot like that the other day. Instead of 4, it was just one long rectangular light.
Yeah. No, I've seen. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This one right here. This thing right here.
Okay, this I saw something
Yeah.
like this too, but it was also, it was like $64.
Yeah.
And it came with a stand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, this is just it's sold as a light bulb. It's sold, actually. It's marketed as a quote unquote a shop light. And you know, there are various configurations. An earlier one I saw was very similar to this, but instead of having 3, it had 2 longer ones. So it looked more like a typical shop light, you know, that is very, very long. Yeah, you just screw it into a standard Edison base, you turn it on, and you're good to go. And those things could flex this way, so you could actually aim it if you needed to. So, but anyway, it just goes to show that just a little ingenuity and some DIY lights, you know, you don't need anything crazy to get started and doing more advanced photography and controlling your light, you know.
The other thing I did recently, and again, going to Home Depot, I saw a very thin computer chair for $10. I needed an extra computer chair, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, and this was very light. And this morning I thought, well, what happens if I take the back off and use it as a posing stool? And it works.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So the tripod with the light cost me $20, and the chair maybe cost $10 or $20.
Mm-hmm.
And the other lights that I have, I'm using them for other purposes anyways.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and what was going to? Oh, you also mentioned the background.
Yeah, I bought a background.
Yeah,
Yes.
just so you guys know, I've bought several backgrounds from backgroundtown.com. I love their backgrounds. They're really, really great. And so now, of course, I'm on the mailing list, and they just sent me a mailer saying that they have a 40% discount on very select backgrounds that they're promoting, and they have a 50% kind of like store wide. So it's interesting how they run their sales. Go figure. But anyway, so if anybody's interested in background Town periodically does these really deep discount, 50, 60% discounts on their background. So what I would do is, check it out, get on their mailing list. So whenever a sale comes up, you're, made aware. And the nice thing is that you can save. Oh, here, let me stop the share. You can save, if you like certain backgrounds, you can save them for purchase later. you know, so you don't have to go hunting every time you load up the website. You know, it says, oh, I'm ready for a new background. Oh, I don't remember the ones I looked at last time that I liked. You can just go to your favorites and see all those. So anyway, all right. So that's enough of that. I think we're kind of caught up and all the good stuff. Anybody got anything new they'd like to share? Anything going on in some of your groups?
All the groups are on summer hiatus.
Summer hiatus. You know, okay. This is what I can't understand. The best time to photograph anything is during the warm weather. And that's when literally all camera clubs go dormant. I can never figure that out. Can anybody explain why? You would think they'd be more active during the summer weather and go dormant during the winter.
Well, what I think is funny, we have people in North Haven who, it's only 2 people, but anyway, they're not here in the wintertime. They're snowbirds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway. So today is Lightroom. And originally I was going to get into working with keywords. I know I've mentioned keywords in the past, but like I said, I am fairly ill prepared. So I'm not going to get into that simply because using the keyword feature can be a little complex. I wanted to kind of go over how you can export and import keyword list and how you can actually make a custom keyword list in a program like Excel or literally any spreadsheet program and import that into my brain is so fried and into Lightroom and utilize it. It's a great way of creating specialized lists. Like for example, if you are Alan likes photographing wild animals. All right, so maybe he compiles a list of wild animals that are native to our area. And it could be a list of everything that he has shot and maybe things that are on his wish list of wanting to shoot. So let me switch over. So you can create a list and a hierarchy. You can build it as you wish in a spreadsheet and then import it. And then when you photograph that specific animal, there's already a slot for that keyword, and it auto-populates with what are called child and parent keywords. So like I said, that's something I wanted to cover, but I'm not prepared for that today, so we'll save that for hopefully next month. So
Doug,
yes.
can I throw in a question and find out if it's related to that?
Sure.
I've been working with collections to make my books, and I've got really, when I start looking through there, I realize I got 4 or 5, maybe 6 different little projects that I want to work on.
Okay.
So what I haven't gotten into the smart collections yet.
Okay. Yeah, they're not.
So I've been using the standard collection.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed with that is, like, okay, I've got collection A set. So I'm looking for collection A stuff, and it's clicking them in there. They go, oh, that could go in collection B. What should I do? So lately I've just been tagging it with something so that I'll remember to come back and look at it when I've got that collection set. Because it doesn't seem like it's easy to go and, flip collections back and forth. Like I said, I'm throwing stuff into collection A, and then I see something I want to throw into collection B, but then I have to go set, you have to go somewhere else to reset that. That's why I was wondering if, what you're talking about keywords, if I was, when I get to that, if there was a better workflow going back and learning smart collections.
All
I
right.
remember when you were talking about it, you had talked about, some of that, I thought it was the keyword area.
Right. Okay. Well, all right. So for example, let me switch over to this. Let me share. All right. So I am in my collections. Okay. And I have a bunch of stuff. And let me go to, all right. So here's one of that's called Adobe Stock. These are things that I have submitted to Adobe Stock. All right. And if we look at my keywords, all right, this is a smart collection. All right, let me show. All right, see how it's got that little cog wheel next to the icon. All right, that lets you know that it's a smart collection. Okay, so smart collections are automatic. All right. And I can put whatever images I want in this, independent of where they are located in my library. Okay. Additionally, I can create another one. This one's called Portfolio. These are images that have ended up in my portfolio online. All right, and the latest one, this was I did for like a example of 360 rotations. That's why you're seeing all these friggin' cameras here. But anyway, you can put images into as many, you can put the same image into as many collections as you want. So it's not, what's that?
Smart collections or
Smart collections, dumb collections, any collection. Okay. So like, for example, you have a book. All right. I'm just going to make something up. You're working on a book of just flowers. Okay. So you're looking through your library and you're saying, oh, I want this one in the book. So you take it, and because you're working manually, you manually put it into your book of flowers. Book of flowers, book of flowers. All right. This one here now has a rose, which is a flower, but it also has a butterfly on it, which it just so happens you're also working on a book of butterflies. So now you say to yourself, okay, this is a great image that I can put into consideration, because it's the first step. You're going to consider where you want to put it, right? I'm going to put it into the book of flowers, and I am also going to put it into the book of butterflies because it fits both categories. All right. And if you want to get crazy, you also have a book on roses. So you can throw it into that one as well. Okay. So now you have that one image and three different catalogs, or and three different categories, collections. Okay. So because you're adding to it manually, you actually have to say, I want it in this catalog. All right, or in this collection. All right. So that's easy. Okay. Where it gets difficult is when you want to automate the process. All right. And you say, okay, well, I have this book that's on flowers. I have a book on butterflies, and I have a book on roses. And what I want to do is I want to automate the process a little bit more, so that as I'm flowing through my collection, I don't want to manually move it into this one or the other, because now I have to stop my train of thought I have to make sure that I'm moving it to the correct collection, all right? And I'm not messing up, all right? However, if I can automate it, that would make it even better, all right? So as I said in the past, when it comes to keywords, I keep my keywords, I'll do the landscape ones. This is my current book that I'm working to put together, okay? So this one called Landscapes, let me zoom in, Landscapes. You can see it is not a smart collection because it doesn't have the cogwheel, right? All right, but you notice that after the landscape, there is a plus symbol, okay? That plus symbol lets me know that that is the currently selected default collection. So I can use a shortcut key to add images into that collection as I'm looking through. But as you can already venture, part of the problem is that you can only have one default selected collection. You can't have multiples because how are you going to distinguish between one and the other? All right, so now I have to make a decision. Do I want to keep my butterflies as the default? Do I want to keep the flowers as a default? Or do I want to keep the roses as a default? And if I run into a situation that it fits into two or more categories, then I have to stop my flow and then engage with each one of these collections singly. Now, of course, I'm making it sound as if it's a big chore, which it really isn't. But if you're like me, where you get into a groove, you want to get it to the point where you really don't have to think about it. You just want things to happen. All right. And for me, I want it to happen fairly organically. So when I come off of a shoot and I'm looking and I'm pulling through my images and I go, oh, this would be great in my flower book. All right. I can immediately tag it with a keyword that automatically, without me even thinking about it, sends it to that collection. Okay. So now we say, okay, well, if I use the regular expression of flower, it's going to comb through my entire library, and any image, it doesn't matter what image it is, that has the keyword flower, it's going to dump it into that collection. All right. So now you say, well, that's not too big a deal. All right. Because that way you can just sift through and, figure which ones you want to use. But, not all of them are going to be book worthy. So you say, well, I don't want to, if I get, I love taking flowers. Half my collection is flowers. I got thousands and thousands of pictures with flowers. All right. I'm not going to save any time looking through a collection of 5,000 images of flowers than I would looking through my regular library of tons and tons of flowers. So that kind of defeats the purpose. I want that collection to be a little bit more curated right from the get-go. So the only images that are going to go into that collection are the ones that I want to consider for the book. What eventually ends up in the book, that's a later stage. All right. So now I have to come up with a keyword that will land it into the correct collection without interfering with any of my general keywords. So I can't use the word flower, I can't use the word butterfly, and I can't use the word rose. Okay, because those are very generic. They apply to all those types of images across the entire collection of images in my library. okay? But I can use special characters. And I think I introduced this a while back, all right? We all know what hashtags are, okay? So what I do is I reserve the hashtag for special projects, okay? So now I say, okay, I'm going to create a keyword that obviously makes sense to what it's for, all right, but different than my general keyword. So I'm going to do a hashtag flowers, okay? Or if you want to be very, very direct and specific, you can do hashtag flower book. All right, it's entirely up to you, whatever makes sense to you. But I started off with the hashtag because that separates it from a general population keyword and makes it a very specialized keyword. All right. So now whenever I come across an image that I say, oh, that'd be great for my flowers book, I mark it with that special keyword. And because I've created a smart collection, every time it sees that hashtag keyword, it's going to dump it automatically without me even thinking about it into that collection. All right. So now you can say, okay, well, this flower is also a rose, and I would like to consider it for my rose book. So I will add a second keyword called hashtag rosebook. All right. And oh, look, it happens to have a butterfly, which will fit into my butterfly book. I'll add a third keyword called hashtag butterfly book, and it automatically adds it to that collection. Okay. So now you have that one image and 3 collections for your consideration across these 3 different projects. All right, is that make sense to what you were looking for?
Yes, I'm trying to get to my mute button.
Oh, okay.
But it just raised another stupid noob question. Your list over there on the right, where it's got your keyword suggestions.
Yes.
So, is that where you are putting your keyword list that you were talking about?
Okay.
earlier?
So yes. Yep. So
And I guess so. The question is, if you got the keyword, you're just talking about a special hashtag.
yeah.
Flower book. So would you put that in the keyword suggestions?
Okay.
And then how
Yeah.
do you get it
All right.
there and attach it to the photo?
So there's a couple of ways to do it, and of course, keep in mind, my ultimate goal is to make it as simple and as mentally unchallenging as possible. Okay.
That's why you keep me in the group.
That's why I'm leading the group. I don't like to be challenged mentally. Okay, so a couple things. All right. So if we look, the first part of the keywording is a blank box that you can fill with keywords yourself. You can actually just click on it and start typing away. Okay. Right below it is a single line keyword entry. All right. And this is where you basically type the keyword, hit enter, it automatically populates it. It'll keep it within that input field. You type in the second one, hit enter, it adds it. Type your third one, hit enter, it adds it. So you can just do your mental workflow and say, okay, this image is this keyword, enter, this keyword, enter, this keyword, enter, and so on. And you just keep going and then you move along. Okay. But as you start typing, okay, oops. As you start typing, okay, I'm going to start with a hashtag. All right, let me zoom in here. I'm going to start with a hashtag. And as soon as you start typing a letter, it's going to give you a list, all right, of already established keywords, all
Are
right?
those keywords that you entered are a list, or are they also just keywords you've entered
These are keywords I've entered in the past.
as a through a list, or just ones you? Does it save the ones you type in? Like if you
Yes,
typed in XYZ for the first time, and the next time, will it remember that you typed in XYZ?
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what happens, all right, so let me back it up a little bit. All right. So what happens is every time you tag a keyword onto a photograph, it goes into a database. All right. And that keyword will reside in that database. All right. So let's say, for example, I tagged this first image XYZ. All right. XYZ, hit enter. All right. And there it is, XYZ. Okay. And, some time goes by and I say, you know what? That's not really an XYZ. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I don't need my XYZ. Okay. Now, here's another image. Okay. Different image. But this one is an XYZ. So I'm going to go X. All right. And look at that. XYZ is right there. Okay. XYZ is right there. All right. Because it was already entered into the database. And once it's in the database, it stays there until you delete it from that database. All right. You can't delete it from the image itself by untagging it. All right. That's a totally different process. All right. It's in the database. All right. So now I can just click on it and bam, it adds it. All right. So now I say, okay, well, that's not really an XYZ. It doesn't make sense to label that XYZ. Okay. And you say, you know what? I will never use XYZ. But every time I press the letter X, gosh darn it, it's giving me that as an option. I'm never going to use it again. It was an accident. I mistyped it, whatever it was. All right. I need it gone. All right. So we can't do it from here. We have to go down one more to the keyword list. And if we go all the way down to the end of the keyword list, because X is at the end, all right. Oh, there's an X all by itself. Okay, which image is that? Okay, photos posted with X. Oh, why? Okay. And there it is. All right. So apparently I did not delete the letter X. Okay. So, oh no, well, there it is. Hold on. Okay. So now I have to figure out, I got to go back and delete that from the, whatchamacallit. All right. But you'll see right here is XYZ. And if we look across, you'll see that there's a 0, meaning that there are no images that are currently utilizing that that keyword. All right. And you'll find that as the years go by, you're going to come across a few of these orphan keywords. They're called orphan keywords, meaning that they are not associated with an image. All right. And you'll know that because there's a 0. So there's a couple ways you can do it. All right. If it's 1 or 2 that you know you need to get rid of, you can just come over and, hit the delete key, or, go here, delete. All right. And it will delete the keyword. Okay. All right. So let me go back up to this one here, to the keywording. Oh, all right. Let's see, where were we? We were in landscapes. Was it this one? One of these has the letter X. Okay, which one has the letter X? All right, so we go back to our keyword list. Go back down. There's one that has just the letter X, okay? And there is a little arrow right there. And usually if you click on that little arrow, photos with the letter X. Oh, it's telling me it's that one, okay? But it's not. I checked it, okay? Let me see. This is weird because unless there is a click on, oh yeah, it's there. Okay, so there's the letter X. Okay, so apparently when I went to erase the XYZ, I erased the Y and the Z, but it didn't quite get to the X. So let me just back that up. I got rid of the X. Go back to our keyword list and we scroll down, we find the letter X. All right, and we'll now see that that has a 0. Okay, so of course you already know you can automatically delete it. The other way we can do it is if we go to metadata and go all the way down to the bottom, metadata all the way to the bottom, purge unused keywords. All right, so any keyword that has the number 0, it will automatically purge it. All right, so we go metadata, purge unused, okay? And now if we come back here, you're gonna see that X is gone. All right, and along with that, any other keyword that had a 0 value. Okay, so that's a good way of kind of, you know, cleaning up your keyword database. All right, so now you say, okay, well, I need specialized, why can't I get, okay, there we go. I need specialized keywords for my books. All right, so here it is. This is my landscapes book that I'm going to be putting together. All right, it's a dumb collection, meaning that it's not requiring me to put in automatic keywords. All right, but let's say I want to create one. Okay, so I'm going to go to my collections, create smart collection. All right, and I'll call it Smart Landscape, just so we know the difference, okay? And I am going to give it a few criteria, okay? It's going to reside in my collections, which is right here, my collections, all right? So it's going to put it right in between, or right after my landscapes, because it's Smart Landscapes, okay? And I wanted to match all the keywords that I wanted to look for, okay? All of them, because you can have multiple keywords if you want to really constrain your search, all right? The reason I like using the hashtags is because I am doing the constraining, all right? So I can constrain it to just that hashtag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to match, instead of rating, I want other metadata keywords. Okay, so click on the drop down, other metadata keywords. All right, that contains, all right, and you have, you know, Boolean options here, you know, starts with, ends with, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, that's going to contain, and I'm going to call this hashtag Okay. I reserve my hashtags pretty much specifically for this purpose, but any special character you can use. You can use a $sign if you want. You can use an ampersand sign if you want. Okay. For me, I used a hashtag because it makes sense. We use hashtags in social media, you know, to when we do a post on Facebook, we add a hashtag or two. Those are keywords for those posts. So I'm used to using the hashtag as a keywording device. So I just carry it over to this, and I'm going to call it landmark. Landmark. Okay. Now, or you know what? Let's call it landmark book. All right. We'll be very specific. Landmark book. All right. And my special rule that I kind of try to adhere to is I avoid plurals. I avoid plurals. All right. The reason being is that rose and roses are two separate keywords. All right. Because one has one letter more than the other. All right. Even though in our mind, they're both the same thing, it's all a rose, you know. A lot of people think, well, you know, it's a picture of a solitary rose. So I'm going to use the keyword rose. But if I got a bush, there's more than one. So I'm going to use the keyword roses. Okay. And for me, that just complicates things a little bit too much. Because when you distill it down, it's all a rose. Even if there are multiple roses, there are a multiple of a single rose. So I just keep it simple for myself, and I avoid plurals. All right. That way, if I need to do a keyword search and I type in the word rose singular, all right, it is not going to alienate anything that would otherwise be labeled as roses, because that's a separate keyword. All right. If I wanted to search for both, I would have to go an extra step and make sure that I'm searching for rose and roses, which just complicates matters. All right. So hopefully that you get an understanding of why I choose to do that. That's me, myself. You do what works best for you. All right. So going back to this.
Question.
Yeah.
Are these things case sensitive?
No. As far as I've been able to determine, I've never had an issue with case sensitivity. So, but again, to keep things easy, I only capitalize people's names and place names and things like that. Proper nouns, I'll capitalize. Everything else, I just keep lowercase. It just makes things simple. What I want to do is I want to keep it as uniform across the board as possible for myself. So when it comes time to recalling information, I don't have to do a lot of mental gymnastics. Did I use this or did I use that? Or was it capitalized? Was it not capitalized? Was it plural? Was it not plural? So I take all of that out of the equation. Okay. All right. So in this case, it's going to be a very easy collection. A single hashtag, that's all I need, called landmark book. All right, and I say create, and you can see now that it's added it to my collections. Smart landscape. You can see the cogwheel, right there. You can see the cogwheel indicating that it's a smart collection. Okay. All right. So now it's empty, and it's empty because I have not marked anything with that very specific keyword. All right. So now over on the far side over there, I have keyword sets. Okay. Keyword sets are custom lists that you can create that give you a one-click access to tagging your images. All right. And you can see I have one called hashtags. Hashtags. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click on where it says hashtags, right? All of these here are different lists that I have created over time. All right, so I have one specifically for hashtags. I'm going to go all the way down to the end and I'm going to do edit set. And I'm just going to get rid of this last one because I haven't used this one in about a year. And I'm just going to replace that with landmark book. Okay, which is the hashtag that I just created. Okay. And I'm going to click on change. And now it's ready. It's right there. It's grayed out because I don't have any images selected. All right, that'll be my next step. But it's right here in my keyword set, ready to go. All right. So because I have a smart collection already, I have these already here. Okay, so now what I can do is I can say, okay, well, these are all my landmark, all my images that I have in consideration for my landmark book. Okay. What I can do is I can remove them from this list in order to whatever gets left behind eventually goes into the book. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to keep this collection as a working area. And then whatever I find one that I really, really want to put into my book, it's going to go into that other collection. And the other collection are the ones that are definitely my keepers, that are definitely going into the book. Okay. So I look at this and I say, oh yeah, this one's ready to go. I have a whole bunch of New York City images that I want a section of that book to be dedicated to. So now if we look, I only have one keyword in there, and that's New York. Okay. I should say, you know, Manhattan Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. All right. And I hit enter. It automatically enters it into the list. Okay. But down below, I have my landmark book hashtag. And all I got to do is click on that and it adds it. All right. And because it's a hashtag, it'll add it at the very beginning of your keyword list. Okay. So there it is. It's added. So now if we look at our smart landscape, all right, actually we'll do here, we'll see that it now has one image in that catalog, in that collection. All right. So now if I click on that, all right, we go. There's my one image. Okay. So that image is now ready to go. Okay. And if I come back, I say, okay, well, you know, here's another bridge image. Let me zoom in here. Okay. This is the Brooklyn Bridge. All right. So let's add Brooklyn Bridge to the hashtag or to the and all right, I'm gonna go hashtag landscape land what I do, I said landmark book, right? Landmark book. Okay, I should have said landscape book, damn it. That's okay. All right. And now it says that there are 2 images in that collection. All right. And if we click on it, there it is, my 2 images for consideration. Okay. Now, if I say, okay, well, you know what? I want that one. Maybe I want that one in my fine art collection. Okay. All right. So my fine art collection has a different hashtag. Okay. You'll see it here. It's FAA. So I can come back to this. I can go click on FAA. It adds that to my keyword list. And if we come back to Fine Art America, there it is, ready to go into submission for that. Okay. And it's here. Where is it? Right there. And it's here, right there. So I have it in 3 different collections. Okay. 1 is a dumb collection. 2 are smart collections relying on 2 separate keywords. And that's how you can kind of organize yourself. Does that answer your question, Brian?
Yes, it does. More than I expected.
Yeah.
No, it gave me, well, it really made me realize I want to jump into smart collection big way. One last point on that, I guess it seems obvious, but if I pick a number of photos, I can keyword them all at once, right? You don't have to keyword a photo one at a time. Is that true?
Correct.
If you could working on one selected photo, if you selected 10, you could bang them all in at once.
Correct. Yeah, you can do in your collection. All right. So, well, first of all, as you saw, I made a mistake. All right. I made a mistake by calling this landmark book instead of landscape book. All right. Mistakes happen. All right. You can say, well, you know, it's not a big deal. I'll keep it. For me, it kind of bugs me because it's not a book on landmarks. It's a book on landscapes. So I want to correct it. So I'm going to come back over to my keyword set. I'm going to click on the where it says hashtag edited. I'm going to come down to my edit set and I'm going to change that to landscape. Oops. Make sure. Landscape book. All right. And I've changed it. Now, all I've changed here is what is the keyword that I can use to insert. It has not changed anything else. All right. So I know I have some images out there that are now tagged wrong. So I'm going to go to my keyword list. I'm going to scroll down to where it's to where my hashtags are, and fortunately, because it starts with a hashtag, it floats it to the top of my list, right? And here are all my hashtags, right? And here is my landmark book, and you can see it has 2 images in associated with that keyword. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, come down to where it says edit keyword tag. All right. And I'm going to change that from landmark to landscape and save. And we're good to go. Now I come back to my smart landscape book and I go, oh, you know what? It didn't do it. Why did it not do it? I think I missed. Oh, I know why. Because you have to associate it with the new one before you make a change to the old one. That's what I did wrong. All right, let's see if I can undo that. Can I undo it? Yes, I can. All right, here we go. So here's my landmark book. Okay. So I'm going to click on the little arrow, right? That little arrow will load. It's basically a fast track search result. Okay. So here it is. They're both here. Shift. All right. I'm going to shift click on click on the first, shift click on the latter. Okay. I'm going to come up to my keyword list and I'm going to change it here. Landscape. Okay, hit enter. All right, now it removes it because this is a Boolean search for landmark. All right, so I just changed it. It pulls it out. I come down to my keyword list. All right, and there is landscape book and landmark book. So I'm going to go ahead and delete landmark book, and I keep my landscape book, and there it is. Okay, so a little bit of a process, but it can be done. All right, just don't forget to change the keyword tags first. Okay. All right, I wish Lightroom would do it so that if you edit it in that list, it automatically edits across the board, but that's probably asking a little bit too much right now. So anyway, let's go back to, oh, I gotta change my, that's right. My smart collection is still looking for landmark. I gotta change that. Edit smart collection. All right, I gotta change my, what's it searching for? It's searching for landmark. I needed to go to landscape. There we go. Now we are back in order and corrected. So folks, try to avoid making a mistake early on because it's a process to correct it.
You just demonstrated why mistakes become standards.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to, you know what? The hell with it. It's going to stay landmark book. I know what it means. All right. So now I can just come back and I can go, all right, let's see. Here's another New York. Do I want that one? I don't know. Oh, here, I want this one. So we'll put this one in the, let's go to my keywording landscape book. Okay. Oh, here's a couple New York ones. Click. Shift, click. All right, selects 1, 2, 3 images. All right, we'll click on landscape book, and all 3 of those are now in the 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can do multiples. All right. We can go, let's see. Which one? Oh, I like this one. So we'll click on that. I like this. I kind of like that one. And if I press and hold the control command, I can skip over one and I can select multiples. I can, that one. Oh, I definitely want that one and that one. What's the difference between these two? I don't know. Okay. So I hit landscape book and add it. All right. This one, I'm not sure, you know. Okay. So now you can come over to your project folder and say, okay, all of these are going to be added to my book. So we go to book. All right. Where are my book projects? Let's see. Where are my book projects? Oh, standard. No, these aren't, where are we? Clear the book. All right, create, save book, standard landscape. Let's see. Add photo text. Let's see. Page, auto layout. Yeah, auto layout. Why not? Okay. Auto layout kind of gets me started. I can go ahead and change things as I needed. All right, so here's my layout. Let's see. We'll change that to page. No, let's see. Cell. Type. Nope, that's not type. I can't remember. Oh yeah. Can't remember how to do a double truck. Yeah, I still have to play with this because I'm not at all that familiar. So let's see, add page, 2-page spread. There we go. 2-page spread. We can zoom. Yeah, why not? We'll do that. There we go. Now I have a 2-page spread with my New York City skyline. All right, I can do the same thing here. We'll do, we'll get rid of this. Let's see, where is it? Remove page. There we go. We'll do this as a 2-page spread. 2-page spread. There we go. We will remove the page there. And we'll increase the size so it takes up the full page. Maybe give a little up and down. I don't know. So yeah. So you can play around with all this. You know, 2-page spread. There we go. Another one. We'll get rid of this. Remove page. We'll keep that in the center. Okay. And you can build your book right from your Smart Landscapes gallery there. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Whew. It's getting warm. I haven't been outside past couple hours, so if it's warm in here, it's got to be blazing outside. So, all right. Any questions on anything Lightroom related?
Quiet.
It is quiet. What's up? All right. While you guys are thinking of a question, let me go grab something real quick to drink here, because I am roasting. And I have some iced tea. And I am out of iced tea now. Time to do some shopping. Okay. All right. I'm back. All
All right, I have one question. I'm looking for a little help. Um, I switched to another PC I use here in Brantford, and it's an older one. But every time I open up Lightroom Classic, it crashes. And I found that the support from Adobe has not been real strong. Any direction you can send me in?
Okay. How old's the PC?
It's
Okay.
probably 10 years old. It was the best at the time. It's probably, I added an outside memory card, 2 gigs. So I took all my pictures off the PC. So now I have plenty of room.
Yeah,
so-
that's not going to be the issue. There's two key issues typically when it comes to any kind of heavy duty image editing, video editing, drawing images, drawing programs, things like that. One is your RAM. Okay. You need a lot of RAM in order to process images. The other one is what's called VRAM or video RAM, and that has to do with your video card. So what happens is Lightroom and Photoshop and, like video editors, they dedicate a certain amount of the work to your computer's processing power. And another portion goes to your video card's processing power. And about 2 years ago, Adobe said, our programs are getting so sophisticated that we now require all video cards to have a minimum of 4 megabytes or 4 gigabytes of VRAM. All right. The older software only asks for 2. All right. The new software is asking for 4. And I won't be surprised if in a couple of years it's going to say, hey, we need 6. Okay. So the first thing I would look at is your video card. All right. More than likely, I am assuming that because it's an older machine, it probably only has either 1 or 2 gigabytes of VRAM. That's going to choke your system considerably, right?
I think you probably hit it right in the head. That is probably the exact problem.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly why I had to buy a new computer last year.
that's exactly why I had to buy a new computer a couple of years ago.
I only had 2 gig on mine, and it just would not run it anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, software, keeps getting better and more sophisticated, and that sophistication requires power. And the
I was
technology,
afraid you were going to say that.
yeah,
And I would say resist the urge to upgrade. Don't go buy a video card for that thing.
no, no,
I just bought a new PC for Florida, and I said, oh, no, I can work with the old one over here. I won't bring that one up. Yeah, I'm paying for it now. It's
Yeah.
a struggle.
Yeah.
It really is. I hate it. So, okay.
yes. A lot of the consumer available machines that you can buy at, Best Buy and things like that, you're not getting high-end machines. The technology on those at best are already 2 years old. When you buy them new out of the box, the technology is already 2 years old. All right. I tend to go with custom builds. Like the machines I have were custom built, and they use current technology. And of course, that current technology is going to be outdated within a year. So I was in the same boat you were. I had 2 gigabytes on my memory card, and Photoshop came out and said, "Hey, buddy, we're requiring 4. Yours has 2. We're gonna start choking you up." And no matter what I did, it ran like molasses. So I finally got frustrated and I sprung heavy duty bucks into, 2 new computers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to.
Now, Brian, did you try upgrading it with a video card?
No, I didn't, because the machine I had before it wasn't upgradable. It's an idea pad, so it didn't make sense. And
Yeah.
all the other stuff going along with it. So
I tried upgrading mine. I tried to see if I can cheap out and just get a 4 gig video card. But unfortunately, the motherboard was so old that none of the new video cards were compatible. So, that's the problem you're going to find.
I look at what I ended up going with. I use laptops, so I've done this before. I got a gaming laptop.
That's what I did.
Gamers use the same kind of video stuff that I want, so
Yep.
I ended up with a Lenovo Legion laptop that
Yeah.
it's beast.
Yeah, I went with a company called Origin. Origin uses, hold on a second, let me look it up real quick. I'll tell you in a second. Origin uses Corsair. Origin uses Corsair parts, which are pretty high end. So they're they're middle high end. They're not quite high end. They're middle high end. For my intents and purposes,
Yeah.
that's all I need. But yeah, I've never really bought off the shelf computers.
No, the Dell I had, my other one was a Dell. It was specially ordered, and it's great. I don't want to do that again.
Mhm.
6 months here and 6 months there, 2 computers. So maybe a laptop. What are you talking about? Under $2,000 or over $2,000 for a laptop?
About $2,000, probably a little more.
Let me jump in again. That Legion I bought, it's a frickin' beast, and it's $1,200.
Oh,
It's
nice.
not a custom build, but it's a Lenovo business machine. It's
Yeah.
the power pack is bigger than is heavier than my former laptop.
Yeah. Mine.
If you're looking for quality and thinking about a laptop, it's a good way to go. Or I like it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Mine's definitely a beast. It's got dual hard drives. It's got a, did I get 4 or 6 gig? I think I went with the 4 gig memory board or video card. It's got 2 power bricks. It's how big of a beast this thing is. Yeah. When the fans kick in, it sounds like a jet engine.
Yeah.
But it was 3,000 and change for mine.
Yeah.
You
That's what I'm trying to avoid again.
Yeah, no, it's pricey. Absolutely.
And if you're a Costco member, they were selling that Legion last month for like $1,100.
Yeah.
16 gig hot and a 1 terabyte SSD hard drive.
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
What I would suggest is look at the specs and do a little bit of research on the video card, the motherboard, and find when they were built or when their date of origin is. You don't want something that's older than 2 years old. you know. My previous computer that I had custom built for me lasted me 12 years. All right. 12 years for a high-end computer. I paid at that time I paid a little under $2,000. All right, it was like $1,800 for it for desktop. Okay. It lasted me 12 years.
Yeah.
I got more than my money's worth from that machine, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of a nut to put out in the forefront, but over time, it's worth it, but definitely check the components. You don't want components that are older than 2 years.
More than 4 gigs, preferably 6.
4, if you can swing 6. The thing that happened when I ordered mine is it was during the time when video cards were like very, very difficult to get.
Right.
So I'm sure that had an impact on why mine costs so much. All right. Hopefully the demand isn't as great, and the production of video cards is back to normal. So that'll drive the price a little lower. So, you may get the same kind of machine as I got for maybe $1,500 less.
Yeah, well, that helps, because I had to do something, because it drives me absolutely crazy every day.
Yeah.
When it crashes, I just don't have anywhere to turn, so you're right. I'm going to have to bite the bullet.
Imagine trying to do client work that way. Yeah. That I had no choice but to bite the bullet. So
If I can throw one last piece of advice, and no matter what the specs are, if it says HP anywhere on the computer,
oh yeah, yes,
keep moving.
never ever 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 buy an HP. I will disown you if you buy an HP.
And here again, when it comes to a camera, we don't think this hard about it. It costs just as much.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yours and my professional bodies are 3,500
Yeah.
brand new. We might not have bought them by that, but that's what they were.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything about it. I just bought them.
Yeah, that's it. That's true. And
Well, when it comes to photography, it's like more of a passion and a love. You don't question it. It's
Yeah,
I got a new lens. I got a 100 or 400 Pro. Yeah.
yeah.
You don't ask how much it is. All right, when can I get it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I say, hey, I need. It's not I want. It's I need a tilt shift lens. I need it for my work. And it was what? It was $1,400.
$2,200 lens.
Yep.
And we're swapping about a $1,500 PC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Reminds me when I used to flip houses. I remember one time I almost got divorced because I came home the wrong way from work, and she said, "Where were you?" I go, "I bought a house." I went out to the supermarket, and I spent 45 minutes trying to figure out what orange to buy.
Yeah. So, well, anyways, I wish you all the best of luck in your computer hunting.
Yeah. And now that I know what I got to do, it's easy now.
Yeah.
It's just like Al said, just do it. You don't even question it. Find out when you buy the best, it's going to last for, God willing, for the next 10 years.
That's it.
I'll have 2 of them now, one in Florida, one here.
Yeah.
Now you have to sync up the software.
Stop.
Actually, now you have to think about your backup system.
Yeah.
You'll want a network active backup system so you can access your files from either location without having to move that.
I put it on, it's pretty much on, here's this little card right here.
Yeah,
10 gigs. Oh, 10,
10 gig.
no,
yeah. I was gonna say that's awfully small.
it's 10
Terabytes?
terabyte.
Wow.
Terabytes, not gigs.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember you used to buy a flash card with 200 gigs on it? And you go, wow, $45, that's a lot of money.
I'm older than that. I remember that.
I remember floppies with what 45 what was it, 45 bytes,
Yeah,
45 bytes on a floppy disk.
I think 320K sounds right. Floppy disk,
Yeah.
320K. And you got 8 of them in a box, maybe you got 10.
10, yep,
Originally there were 8, and then they went to 10.
10,
We spent $10 for it, and
yep.
now you spend that much for 32 gig, I guess.
Yeah,
At least 16 gig.
yeah. Look at this little thing.
Hey, Brian, I have a question for you about flipping.
This little thing.
Yes.
32 gigs for less than $20.
All right.
You know, it's
Brian, I have a question for
amazing.
you about flipping. I need to go on the cheap on this. I have old stained cabinets in the kitchen. Do you think I can get away with having a professional come in here and paint them white? Or is it going to look like old kitchen cabinets painted white?
Brian, that's for you.
Oh, that was for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you mentioned flipping houses, so just your thought.
Oh, okay. So what have you got? You've got what kind of cabinets?
I have cabinets, the place was built in 1987,
Okay.
and they are stained cabinets. They don't look that good. They look like 1980s cabinets.
Yeah.
But the place isn't worth pouring a lot of money into the kitchen. Do you think I can get away with having a professional come in and paint the cabinets white, or will it look like old cabinets painted white?
If you get someone who knows what they're doing, and there's certain things you got to do to prepare cabinets, because I don't know whether they're Formica or wood or whatever, but yeah, they can paint them in such a way that they look painted nicely. Yeah, but you want
Yeah.
to make sure that someone that's got experience doing cabinets, doing that kind of work, because it's a little bit more than just painting walls, if you will.
Yeah. The cabinets themselves are ageless. It's the style of the door and the style of the hardware that's going to age your cabinets. So
Upgrade the hardware. Yeah, that makes a huge improvement. I had it done. I would change the hardware and paint it white.
yeah,
Marvelous difference. Marvelous.
yeah. Some people will even just buy all new doors, and it changes the look completely. So you can go from like a classic, that 80s style to something a little bit more modern. But that tends to be expensive because now you're replacing stuff instead of just refinishing.
Paint hardware done.
Yeah, paint, hardware, done. You're right. Absolutely right. Yeah. There's a company right here in my building that refinishes cabinet doors.
Oh, okay. We'll text later.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll send you his info.
Sure.
So, and he's got a wide selection of finishes and colors and all that good stuff.
Oh, good.
when you're doing that stuff, the real secret to success is the way it's prepped and primer.
Mhm.
Yeah. He sprays everything, so everything
yeah,
has that nice finish to it. Yeah. He does beautiful work. I've seen his work. So, all right. Any other questions related to Lightroom?
Computers, cabinets, we got you covered.
Computers and cabinets. Yeah, we got you.
Hey, I will take a picture of the kitchen and show it.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Let's see. What's today's date? Today's what? The third. The third. Okay. So, next week is Photoshop. Next Monday's Photoshop. And that Saturday, I'm doing the multiplicity photo shoot. Okay. And the following Monday would have been Q&A, but we're going to do something different. We're going to be processing the images from the multiplicity photo shoot at that time. So that's probably going to be the only change this month. Okay. And the other thing on the 24th, the 24th, I have to photograph a golf classic. So I was thinking of doing a Patreon session on that day, but I think what I might do is move it to the 31st, if it's okay with you guys. All right.
That works.
That works? Okay, good. All right. And so what I'll need from you is if there's any specific topic you want me to cover on the 31st, you can either direct message me through Facebook or drop me an email. Okay. All right. So I will have to make a change on the events page, because I think I have it for the 24th. But I know after it's a full day event, and I don't want to be rushing at the end, and I know I'm going to be beat because it starts at 8:30, it runs all day. Then they have the award ceremony. So I'd rather not cramp my day that day. So okay. All right. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Again, I apologize for not being fully prepared, but hopefully you got something out of today's lesson. So, all right, and I think that's it. Do I got her? Yeah, I'm all set.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Happy 4th of July.
Same to you. Same to you.
Sweet holiday.
And on the 6th, it's Diane's birthday. So I have that.
Hey, my friend from college, Shaq, his birthday's on the 6th.
Cool.
So tell Diane I said happy birthday.
I definitely will pass that on. Thank you. And then we will see you all next Monday. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right, guys. Stay safe
Okay.
and, enjoy the fireworks.
All right.
All right. Take care. Okay. And
Thank you for watching Learning Photography with Duck. Brought to you in association with Milford Photo, your local full-service camera store. Located in downtown Milford, Connecticut, Milford Photo offers you a personalized shopping experience. From the latest camera gear to printing and framing services. And, of course, educational workshops to teach you the finer aspects of photography. Don't forget to tell them Duck sent you.